A couple of days ago, a former KGB agent from Kazakhstan claimed that in 1987, on a trip Donald Trump made to Moscow to look at some properties for hotels, he was recruited by the KGB, by this man's agency, specifically the 6th Directorate of the KGB, whose remit was to look to recruit businessmen in capitalist countries. The news has kind of been met with a stunned silence by most of the major media because nobody wants to touch this. But let's just ask the question. Is it possible that Donald Trump, in a spy versus spy, handled by a guy in Moscow, told what to do way, threatened if he doesn't agree, is it possible that Donald Trump is that kind of Russian asset? And I think the answer, pretty obviously, is yes. Of course it's possible. The CIA uses the acronym MICE, M-I-C-E, as a way to remember the tools that they use for recruiting potential sources, potential spies. And we can assume the KGB does something very, very similar. The M is money, the I is ideology, the C is compromise, and the E is ego. So ask yourself these simple questions. Does Donald Trump like money? Pretty clearly he does. Ideology is a little bit tougher because Donald Trump has none other than being self-serving. What about compromise? Is it possible that on a trip to Moscow in 1987, a 40-year-old Donald Trump might have got himself videotaped doing something? PP tape. It's, sure, why not? And then ego. Ask yourself this question. Is Donald Trump perhaps driven by a need to have his ego stroked? I mean, he's not just a reasonable target for recruiting by an intelligence agency. He's an obvious target for recruiting by an intelligence agency. All they have to do is fluff him up and tell him they're going to give him money and tell him that he's special. I mean, yeah, duh, obviously. So when you see that news, it's never going to be cracked open because no major media is ever going to take it on. But, it's pretty obvious, dude. Sure, it's possible. Even likely. Love to you all, unless you're a fascist or a KGB agent, in which case, may you fall out of windows soon.